to the Cultivation Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Hamill. Today's episode is all about grit, right? That's that attitude that says, I'm not going to quit, I'm not going to give up, I'm not going to stop. It's the unstoppable train, how we build grit, how we cultivate grit, and how we make sure we don't quit. So let's get into it. You know, most people stop right on the verge of success, right on the verge of their breakthrough, right on the verge of their summit. They quit right before they get to the sweet spot, right before they hit that goal that they've been trying to achieve or get to. And it's unfortunate. I've seen this many times in my life as a coach, as a mentor, as someone who speaks into people's lives, where they are right on the cusp of really getting to that place in life, or again, those goals, and they just stop. And it's so important that we understand we need to cultivate grit into our lives. We've got to build up. And so there's a few ways that we can do, not really to psych ourselves up, although some may use that term, but really to build or instill in us the trait, the quality of grit, that no quit attitude or mentality. So, what are they? One, and I wrote a couple of them down in my notes. You're going to see me refer to them today. One is you got to play the long game. You've got to determine up front that the goals you're going after, the breakthrough, the identity, the thing that you're striving for, it's the long game. That you're not in a sprint, you're in a marathon. You're not for the quick fix, although we like to celebrate some quick wins. I'll get to that later on and in another episode. But we celebrate progress along the way. But the idea is we are in this for the journey. And since we're in this for the journey, we play the long game. Last season, I did an episode just on mapping your identity. You can refer back to that. It's a great episode, something I'm continually working on. So you're going to hear me talk about it more from time to time. But when I mapped out my identity, I did 20 years. So I did it right when I was turning 40. And I thought, okay, what's my identity going to be when I'm 60? Now, the advantage of that really is that I'm playing the long game, that I keep striving towards something, and it keeps a reminder, a daily reminder when I'm looking at my 20-year identity map that I'm not in it for the quick fix. Now, what that means is it can be demotivating because it seems so far away. But the one thing I have learned in the 40 years I've been on this planet, not that I've been on another planet before that, but in the 20 years I've been, or 40 years that I've been alive, that 20 years is a really short span. It's gonna come quicker than I realize, but I'm playing the long game. I'm looking for those small wins that are gonna just keep building, building, building until I get to that person, that identity that I want to become, that person that I'm longing to be. And so I would say for us, step one on cultivating the grit, building the no quit attitude mentality is that we are playing the long game. That you're not looking to build Rome in a night. You're not looking to have total transformation in one day, but instead you're playing the long game. Because that is where you get to really see and celebrate your growth and success as a person of who you're becoming, which is the cultivation journey, which is the cultivation community, right? And that we don't quit. You've heard this said by lots of people that really, what does a coach do? A coach gets you to do what you don't want to do, so that you can have what others can't have. And I've heard that said by players. I've heard that said by athletes that are playing. I practice every day. I do what others won't do so that I can have or achieve what others won't achieve. Not that they can't achieve it, but they won't achieve it if they're not willing to put in the grit, if they're not willing to put in the hard work, if they're not willing to do what others aren't uh, uh, um, willing to do. If they won't do it, they're not going to achieve the championship. They're not going to achieve the success. They're not going to achieve the breakthrough. And so when we understand, or when we determine or position ourselves to say, hey, I'm going to do the hard stuff. I'm going to put in the grit. I'm going to put in the grind. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to do that 5 a.m. workout. I don't do a 5 a.m. workout. To be honest with you, I do a 4 p.m. workout because that's when I get off work. And a 5 a.m. workout, I'm not going to put in the effort. But I am going to put it as a rock in my schedule that I'm going to put in the grit. I'm going to put in the hard work. And I can tell you this, if we're using the gym analogy, when I go to the gym and I put in a half effort, it's really not even a celebration at the end. I'm not even, saying, oh, I didn't want to come, so I put in a little bit of workout. When I go to the gym and I go all out, I put in the grit, I put in the hard work, and I know it. When I leave, I say, oh, I wasn't very motivated to go, but now look at what's happening. And you can use that analogy for anything. Think about it for your savings account, for your how you manage your money, how you manage your career. Think about it for how you're going through school, if you're taking classes or courses to better yourself, or if you're reading a book and you go. I talk to a lot of people. I happen to be in a season of life where I'm a heavy reader. I'm reading lots of books. I'm doing lots of things to grow myself. I'm super hungry to grow as a leader, as a person, as a father, as a husband. And so I'm just devouring all of this content. But because I talk about that, I run into a lot of people who is like, I'm not a reader. I don't read. I've never read a book. Well, put in the grit, put in the hard work of like, okay, I'm going to finish this one book. I think sometimes what we do is we try to tackle too much because we want to take on too much all at once or have immediate success. And so we go from reading no books to thinking, oh, I'm going to read 5 books. Don't try to read 5 books. Just try to do one book and put the grit in to get through all 10 chapters, all 5 chapters, whatever the case is, because you're going to work on yourself. And it's not even so much about the speed that you read that book or that you finish that book or that you put in that, that you build that budget that you're going to start living by, or you do that workout routine, or you calendar in intentionality behind relationships, whatever the case is. The point isn't so much the task, it's that you're going to play the long game and you're going to do what others aren't willing to do so that you can have what others won't achieve, right? That sort of thing. And so you can grow as a person if you choose to. I was telling this to somebody, I was in a meeting, which happens to be the story of my life, that, for some people, I can provide all the tools. I can provide the resources. I can provide the pathway. I can provide the tools. But what I cannot provide for any single person is effort. And so for you listening to this, I can provide the podcast and I can give you the books to go back to the website. By the way, if you're listening to this, check out our website, ourcultivatedlives.com, ourcultivatedlives.com. If you check out that website, you have all of our shows on there, and there's a book tab resource. So all of the books that we read or that we suggest are all on there. You can click on them, you can read through them, you can buy them from Amazon. But I can provide all those things. What I cannot provide is your effort. How much energy, how much commitment are you going to put into the transformation, cultivation lifestyle where you decide, I have more potential. There's more that I have to gain. There's more that I have to give. And there's more that I have to become. But it's not going to just accidentally be successful. It's not going to just show up in your lap one day. It's going to be you determining, you deciding that you're going to build, you're going to cultivate the grit to get the job done. And it may mean you've got to do baby steps. Put sticky notes on your mirror, either with inspirational quotes or with the steps you got to do each day, and just take one small victory at a time. But what you're building, what you're feeding is that grit within you. You're building that grit. Every small victory is like expanding your gas tank for more grit to say, you know what? I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to give up. And then pretty soon that momentum starts building in your life, and you're like a freight train just plowing through some areas of your life, whether it's your emotions, whether it's your opinion of yourself, whatever it is, right? That you would go, hey, I am not going to quit, because you've cultivated a grit with inside of you that drives you every single day, that you're going to get up at that 5 a.m. wake-up call. You're going to do that reading plan, or that financial savings strategy, whatever it is, you fill in the blank of where you're really needing some breakthrough, some identity, that sort of thing. And then the last thing that I really want to focus on as we're about to wrap up this episode here is that if you could take anything from me, and this is just so important, and as of late, because of maybe some people that I've encountered, some conversations that I've had, some things that I've had to face with others, I want to remind you that while life can be hard, oh, it can be so hard. And sometimes the thing that you're just kind of looking for, hoping for, is a break. If I could just have a break, if something could just go my way, if I could just get this thing sorted or fixed or worked out, right? But this is the thing that I want to remind you of when it's like, yeah, I need to build some grit. Remember this. You have been through difficult times. You have already faced some tough stuff. And even as I say that, you're thinking, yep, I have. Yep, I have. You've been through it. You've been through broken relationships. You've been through disappointments. You've been through things that didn't go your way and broken, shattered dreams. You've been through not being the person that you've wanted to be and behaving ways that are subpar to the standard you've set for yourself. You've been through those things. And this is what I want to tell you. You are still here. You haven't been conquered yet. Yes, maybe you failed at some things. Yes, maybe some things got the best of you, but you haven't been conquered. You're still here. If you're still alive, if you're still breathing, if you're still listening to this, if you're still watching this, you already have what it takes to cultivate grit in your life to get through the next thing. And if you have to say this right now, it might feel funny. It might seem funny. If you got headphones on, it might even be awkward. But I want you to tell yourself right now, I have not been conquered. I have not been conquered. And I got to tell you, I faced a ton of things in my life that tried to knock me off course, that tried to conquer me, whether, again, it was anger, bitterness, rage, disappointments, brokenhearted, broken dreams, right? All of those kinds of things, we've all experienced those. But you and me, we are still here. We have not been conquered. You have grit in you. You have it in you to build and cultivate the grit so that you can have that breakthrough, so that you can have that cultivated identity, you can have the cultivation journey taking place in your life. Again, don't quit. Don't quit on yourself. Don't quit on me. If you need some extra motivation, do it for me. And I want to hear your story. I want to know where you are choosing to not quit. Tell me what that is. Tell me what that is for you. Hold yourself accountable. Let this community hold you accountable. Where can you tell us about it? Well, I'd love for you to follow me on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. You can follow us at Tom Hamill. You can check us out there. We'd love to hear your story. Also, I would love for you to share this episode with someone that you can start building one-on-one community with. Share it. We want to multiply our audience this year. We'd love for you to check out our website, ourcultivatedlives.com. And again, on there, you'll hear all of our previous episodes. You can check out our bookstore, You can our book links. It's not our store, it's an Amazon store, but check out our links so that you can read those things. And we've got tons of resources on there. I've mentioned this before. Max Out Your Life by Ed Mylett really digs into this topic as far as don't quit. Don't give up on yourself. Share this podcast. Share our social media stuff. Share your story of where you're not quitting, because that is what the Cultivation Podcast is all about. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time. Thanks for checking us out today on the Cultivation Podcast. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the incredible content that's coming your way. Also, in the comment thread below, be sure to put your comments, your feedback, your story. We want to hear that. We want to hear from you. We read those. We respond to those. We journey together in this cultivated life.